Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are team crushing the meta, and you can call me D-Boy. I'm here for you guys with the deck profile. This would be on Kier Chronicle, Chronofang Tiger. This is just as deck profile for him, so there will be no next stage, no Chrono Jet Dragon in here. I do like this deck a lot. I don't think that it is consistent enough yet. We do need more of the new support to make this deck even better. But the thing about this is it is more aggressively to play, and even sometimes when you lose your resources, you can just go into different play style to just still kill your opponent off, and winning by having more cards in your hand, just winning because you have more resources, and you could just make the time leap combo to kill your opponent off. So first for your main grade 3, which is a Chronofang Tiger, which has 2 skills. The GB2 skill of him is when you're paying for the stride cost, you can discard anything from your hand and bind that card face up. And that card just get a plus grade 3 or plus 3 grade, so you can stride with anything from your hand. That skill does help out if the game drags too long, and also then you could just play aggressively. You could just put anything and everything from your hand on the field to just attack with, and next turn you could definitely stride because you can just use his skill. His second skill is when you ride him as your Vanguard, you don't have to, you could discard something from your hand and target one of your opponent's card. It gets sent up to the bottom of the deck, and your opponent could call anything which is a grade minus grade 2 of that card. So let's say you send a grade 2, then they could call a grade 0. But if you send a grade 1 or a grade 0 back to their deck, then they can't get anything because you don't really have a minus 1 and a minus 2 grade. Yeah. So it's a very good skill. You do use it sometimes when your opponents have something on the field that you want to get rid of. But normally if you don't, or if they don't, then you don't really have to use it. Next, the grade 3. I've tried different grade 3s. This is the one that I've come up with, which is good if you can't get your Chronofang Tiger. Eagle has 2 skills. The 2 of them only work with command Vanguard, so if you have one of the command's Vanguards, then you could use him. So let's say if you have one of these on your Vanguard circle, then you could use him. Otherwise he is useless, but you could just call him out and put more pressure on your opponent with him. His first skill is GB1 skill on the rearguard circle. When the attack hits and you have a Vanguard with command in their name, then you could just time leap something. And his second skill is when you stride on the top of him a unit with command in its name. Then you could look at the top 10 cards, I thought. Yeah, you could look at the top 10 cards, and then you could get 2 of them to your hand with time leap ability. So he does help out a lot with getting the right cards to make the combo. But yeah, if you have anything else that you want to play to replace him, you could just do that. He's not really that necessary in this deck. For the grade 2 lineup, I play 4 copies of I don't really know how to Mother, I think his name is. But yeah, he's really good, especially with the skill of Chronofang to bind something to stride. So when he's in your bind zone face up, you could use his skill to soul blast something and call him to the regular circle, and then he gets plus 2k. The same goes with the bind time dragon skill, which binds one of your rear guards. You can also use him to get him back. So he's really good to have on the field. You could just put him out there early game, attack with him, and then you could just bind him later on to get him into your bind zone. Otherwise, you could just have him in your hand and stride with him using the skill of Chronofang Tiger. Of course, you need at least 3 copies of Upstream to make the combo. The same goes with History Maker. You could play 2 or 3 copies of History Makers. I like to play 2 because I wanted to put one copy of him in here. Also, I'm playing only 10 grade 2s. If you want to play 11, that is optional. I would definitely put a fourth or third and fourth 2 copies of History Makers to just start up the combo. But yeah, I do like to play him. When you call him as your rear guard, he's not a GB1 skill, which helps out a lot to get rid of your opponent starter Vanguard or anything that they have on the field. Remember that this deck doesn't really have the Chrono Jet skill, which puts something from the field to back to your opponent's deck. So you do need at least something in this deck that could have that skill, which I use him for. But yeah, as I said, if you want to play more History Makers, then I would definitely go into 11 grade 2s, or take him out to play the second or the third History Maker. And there are no reason for me to explain History Maker and Upstream. I think most of you guys already know what they are capable of. The same goes with this card. I play 4 copies of Malm. She's really good. She is one of the best great ones in the game, especially with the timely ability. Yeah, I do like her a lot. I mean, everybody like her or hates her, being what she does. But yeah, she's really good. Helps out with the time limit a lot and start up the combo using her on Upstream. Playing only 1 copy of the Quintet Wall, I don't really see reason why to play more. In my opinion, playing Perfect Guard is still better in this game, because sometimes you are up to, or your opponent's Vanguard is up to 36 or even stronger. Sometimes they go into 51 with a crit. Then even playing a Quintet Wall could not really help you a lot to defend yourself. So I do like the Perfect Guards more. So playing 3 copies of the Unflip Perfect Guard, because I'm only playing 1 Quintet Wall. If I was playing 2 Quintet Walls, then I would play 2 normal Perfect Guards, because of the Quintet Wall skill that you can't, that you call the top 5 cards, and if there are a Perfect Guard in there, then you could use it. But I think that is a bit stupid, because you are using her skill to count +1, so you're losing her from your hand, and then you get a Perfect Guard, and then you lose it, so you do lose another card from your hand. So the reason why you normally use a Quintet Wall is because you don't want to discard anything else. So yeah, there is no reason to play more than 1. Also, there is pretty good skill. The second skill of the Quintet Wall is you combine something from your drop zone, and also you can put 2 cards back from the drop zone to your deck. So she does help out a lot to recycle your cards, but being a Quintet Wall and not a Perfect Guard, I don't really like her a lot. But 1 copy is good to test her and to be able to use her skill when you want to. 3 normal Perfect Guards, 3 Stride Fathers. Yeah, some people would say, why play Stride Fathers? Because you have Chronofang Tiger. Well, first of all, you do want to get your Chronofang Tiger. Sometimes you can't, so you do need anything else to stride with, and that's when you use him. Also, if you only have the other grade 3, if you are playing Eagle or playing anything else, then it's really good to have at least 2 copies of him in your deck to just help out with striding. And then I play 3 copies of Geezer Dragon. The reason why I play this card is because I want to put pressure on my opponent using the hit skills of Eagle and of Madar. So the two of them has two hit skills. So when they hit, they do something, and when your opponent would guard your Vanguard attack, which definitely they want to because he has a crit. The critical that you have from your drive check, you would put on the column of him, because this guy would be up to great power, because he gets extra 5k for each of the cards that your opponent put back into their deck, and using his skill or his skill, you could just power this guy up and then make a very strong column. So that's why I play him. And because this guy already gets an extra crit 2k, so he would be 11k attacker. Boosted by him, they would attack for 18 or 17, and normally he gets an extra 10k, so they just would be a 27 attack without the trigger that you get to put on him. So your opponent would have to lose another perfect guard or a heal trigger to just guard this attack, which is really good. Also, in this deck, you play 4 copies of the stand trigger to help you out plus more and to give you an extra attack. So I do like this card, and you can't afford to play 4 copies of him in here. 4 heal triggers because you need to G-guard and because you want to heal, and because you could very easily recycle them in this deck. And then 8 normal crits. I don't play draws. You could play draws in this deck because you're not really afraid to deck out. Because you don't really draw a lot, but you can use your resources from your bind zone. Playing 2 TikTok workers because you only played 2 history makers, and because you don't play Clock Fencer. So you need at least 2 copies of him, or you have to put a 3rd and a 4th, yeah, maybe even a 4th copy of history makers in here. This is a very good starter. If you are playing against Gear Chronicle, you would just have to take him out, because it's one of the cards that could just get the combo off. For the G-Zone, playing 4 copies of Bind Time Dragon, his skill is to Count Blast 2 and Soul Blast 1. You unflip one of him in your G-Zone, and then he is a GB2, of course. Then he get an extra 10k and a critical. You have to bind one of your guards. Your opponent would have to get rid of cards from their field equal to the cards that you have in your bind zone. So he does help out to ruin your opponent's field and at the same time get an extra 10k and a critical. And then if you have a high beast or gear beast as your heart, then you could get the extra counter charge, which is a counter charge of 2 and a soul charge of 2. So he does help out to fill up the soul and give you the counter charges back, which is a very good card. This is one of the cards that make this deck very good, and with the new support, this deck would be even better because you would have more options. For now, if you want to just stall and you want to get rid of some of your opponent's cards, then I would recommend going into him. So playing 4 copies of him, but he is replaceable with anything else that you want to play in this deck. The same goes with the command dragons. They're really good. If he hits, then you could put all the cards from your opponent's field back to their deck. And with him, if you have him face up in your G-Zone, then using his skill, you can just put all your opponent's rear guards back into the deck without hitting. So this deck does have a lot of potential going against decks like Royal Paladins or Gold Paladins or anything that have a really good field. The same goes with any deck that wants to have a field present. So this is where this deck would be superior to others. Also, sometimes if you play against decks like Kagero, then you would just hit them and they will hit you back, and you will hit them and you will hit them back. playing 2 copies of Ruru and 2 copies of the new or the newer G Guardian. They're really good. There is really no reason, in my opinion, to play other G Guardians, but you could if you want to. At least play 1 copy of Desmil. And you could also play Surprise in here. This guy does help, she does help out a lot with getting more cards in your hand, especially going into the stun trigger. But yeah, remember, you could play Surprise in here if you want to, but I don't play Surprise, and I also don't play Desmil. I play 1 copy of him because, in my opinion, he is one of your best finishers. I really don't understand that this card just being a rare. I mean, it's really good. He's definitely one of your best strides if you just want to finish your opponent off. And you know for sure that they don't have any heal trigger or G Guardian to use. So you just use his skill to put Great 1 back to their deck. And then they can't guard with the Great 1s, which make your attack just go through, and then if you get a critical or you don't, if you just hit them for the extra 5th or 6th damage, then you could just kill them off right there and now. So this is one of the decks that you need to play it to see how it works. In my opinion, it is very good, but it has more potential in the future. As you can see, it does time leap a lot, and you could just make a lot of profit from just get rid of your opponent's card and resources, but at the same time you just pressure them with very strong Vanguard with an extra critical and being able to stride all the time. It's the same at Diablo, but also in this deck you even make more profit of striding. So I would say the most 3 important cards in this deck are these 3 to make the combo, but at the same time you need to remember that you still have the time leap skills, which makes Gear Chronicle in general one of the strongest clans that we have right now, is because of course of these 3 cards, or anything that could time leap. So if it's a History Maker, if it's a Clock Fencer, if it's just TikTok Worker, does help out a lot with going to these 2 bitches to just kill your opponent off or get rid of their resources. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I've tried to make this as fast as I can. So tell me what you think about the deck, and especially what do you think about the Great 2 lineup and the Great 1 lineup, because the Great 3 lineup doesn't really matter. You can just go into anything else, which is a Gear Beast or anything that is good as a Vanguard. Yeah, so till next time.